When I was growing up, my grandmother, we called her Nana. She lived around the block from us. And she suffered from Huntington's disease, which meant that she was unable to talk or to coordinate her movements. Her nurse, Maria, would feed her every day, would bathe her, and would dress her. My Nana couldn't even smile, so it was difficult to understand how she was doing at a particular moment in time. We used to visit her each day, and on Christmas morning we would open our presents in her living room in her midst. My brother Dennis is number 6 of 7 children in our family. And in May 1986, he had his senior prom from high school. Now, my mom must have forgotten that day because she was with me somewhere else. I was about 6 years old at the time. You could understand that she had 7 kids. Well, Dennis came home from school that day, and he put on his tuxedo, and he came upstairs, and there was no one in the house. So he took his disposable camera, remember this is 1986, and he went around the corner in his tuxedo to visit our Nana's house. And when he got there, he took pictures with our Nana, and Maria, her nurse, put on my brother's boutonniere and helped him with his bow tie. And then Dennis and Maria noticed something. Nana was beginning to cry and to laugh. She was becoming very emotional. In the first reading, the Israelites finally returned to Jerusalem after being in exile in Babylon. Ezra the scribe reads to them from the Torah and tells them the story again of their ancestors in the Exodus and how God was so faithful to them and how God gave them the commandments as a right way of living. When the people hear this, they start to cry. They become emotional. Maybe because they felt at home again. Or maybe hearing the commandments, they began to reflect on the way they were living their lives. Or maybe just hearing the reading of the scriptures brought back memories for them. I think part of the reason my Nana was crying was because Dennis was wearing my grandfather's, my pop-pop's old tuxedo. Maybe Nana recalled all the weddings and events she would have went to with my pop-pop. Ezra and the other priests urged the people not to be sad, but to enjoy the rich food and to share it with others, to offer hospitality. I think of my brother and how despite the fact that we had all deserted him, he found hospitality offered by my Nana that day. In the gospel, Jesus sends out the 72 disciples, instructing them not to take too much with them for the journey, so that they are better able and more open to receive hospitality along the way. When I prayed with this reading, I pondered all the homes that received these disciples and how they received the friends of Jesus, and thereby receiving Jesus himself, how their lives must have been changed. Some of you watching at home might not be able to get out that much, but you are able to welcome those who visit you, whether it's a family member, a nurse, an extraordinary minister, or someone else. Come to think of it, as long as you don't change the channel, you have already welcomed me into your home today. Thank you. So today we ponder with gratitude, and maybe even with joyful tears, all the people who have welcomed us and brought us joy, those who have shared the scriptures with us, and those like the 72 who have shared their experiences of Jesus with us. We, like the 72 and the people who welcome them, have a mission today from Jesus, to welcome the visitor, to encourage them, and to share our love and wisdom with them. Because, as the letter of the Hebrews tells us, do not neglect his hospitality, for through it some have unknowingly entertained angels.